Khalil. 3 months had passed and none of the eggs had hatched. The magma pits, however, had changed colors multiple times. The red pits became orange, the orange pits became yellow, the yellow pits became green, the green pits became blue, the blue pits became indigo, and the indigo pits became violet. The violet pits were the only pits to not change color. When Khalil had asked why they did not become rainbow, Eric had chuckled. There is a reason our pits are separate from the others. As the magma pits ascend through the colors, they give off light that indicate higher and higher frequency. The higher the frequency, the more intense the energy. Our rainbow pits are a mixture of the different frequencies, a gift from Amaterasu herself. You don't always want to be flooded with such intense frequency as violet. Sometimes your body needs the softer colors to get what it needs done. It's better for the more fragile processes your body needs to accomplish. For example, Eric held up his right arm. It had grown back after 3 weeks into their magma pits. Look at my arm and then think about the finger you lost. If I had used high frequency energy to repair it, I easily could have shattered your pinky. Then, you would be better off growing a new one. My arm needed the rainbow because high frequency would rupture the veins as they were being grown. My skin, on the other hand, needed violet so that it may be as tough as it was. Eric grinned. Okay, show me what you can do. Khalil pulled himself out of the magma pit. He held his right hand out, palm side up. Just have to focus on the fire within. It's just like when I'm inside the pit, but from within myself. He pushed the fire from his belly and towards his hand. Barb never got this chance. What could she have done with her shield if she had learned? A ball of violet lava hovered above his hand. His energy began depleting rapidly. Lava spikes emerged from the center of the ball, giving the ball the appearance of a mace. Good. How long can you maintain it? Remember what I said about the magma pits and their frequency? Our fire works the same. Different colored flames reflect the fire within, burning at higher temperature and frequencies. Try lowering how much energy you're using. This will make it weaker, yes, but it will be more sustainable and practical in battle. Eric emerged from his pit and summoned a spiked lava ball of his own. His was yellow, almost golden. Then it became red. Khalil tried to adjust the amount of energy he was channeling into his hand. Nothing happened. He felt exhausted. The lava ball fell apart, lava hitting the ground and splashing. It is okay. You are learning quite well. I skipped orange and dropped straight to red. It may be helpful to try starting with red and increasing to orange. That way, you can learn the differences between the color on a subtle level. It's easier to increase than to decrease. Tony entered the chamber. He wore a grin. One of Barb's eggs is hatching. Come see. Khalil dipped his foot into his magma pit and felt some energy return. They began traveling to the hatching chamber. Tony brought them to the pit that Khalil had placed an egg in. Khalil could see the direction of the swirling lava being distorted by movement from within. They stared at the pit for 5 minutes. Eric had 2 slices of fire melon in his hand. Then he gave them to Khalil. You should be the one to feed him or her. We'll each treat the egg that we placed in the pit as our own. An obsidian claw reached out of the pit and grasped the side. Another claw followed suit. Then the head emerged. It had a dragon's head. Soon, the newborn had brought itself out of the pit. They stared at it. An obsidian Muspelheim dragon? It's obviously still part Gallum. Look at its scales. The dragon began to shiver. It turned around and jumped back into the magma pool. It kept its head above the surface of the magma and observed the 3 gallons surrounding it. Then it stared at the fire melon slices in Khalil's hand. Yeah, it's hungry. The dragon pointed at its open mouth with one of its claws. Eric laughed a thunderous laugh, and the dragon sank beneath the surface. Khalil couldn't stop his grinning. Tony laid on his stomach and tapped the surface of the magma, waves rippling across. The dragon poked its head back out. No one dared move. Khalil held up the slices of melon. Slowly, the dragon emerged from the pool. It shivered less than before as it walked towards him. Khalil crouched so he was not towering over the dragon. Say please. Eric laughed a quiet laugh. You're doing well, Khalil. I suspect it's too young to speak. Khalil heard a voice in his mind. I cannot speak like you do. May I have that? Khalil stared at the dragon in wonder. He looked at Tony and Eric. Neither of them seemed to have heard it. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. May I have that? Certainly. Khalil gave one of the slices to the dragon. It ate it so ravenously it almost bit his hand. Slow down. We have more, but you cannot bite the hands that feed you. It's poor etiquette. Etiquette? Huh. I figured you had a full vocabulary. I only know what was said while I was in my egg. It was enough. I'm glad we spoke to you all then. Etiquette is the way we are expected to behave, depending on where we are, who we are with, and what we are doing. I see. Thank you. For the food as well. You're very welcome. Before they could continue talking, Eric interrupted. Are you talking with it? Why are you two staring at each other? I am. He? She? I haven't asked yet. It cannot speak like we do. Eric was silent for a moment. Then he smiled. So I see. That is quite interesting. She just introduced herself to me. Cassandra. Not a bad name. Then it was Tony's turn to talk with her. He smiled at first, then lava streaked down his cheeks. She was going to choose Barb, but there is another of her siblings who has claimed that name. Cassandra stood on all fours, no longer shivering. Her height reached 4 feet, and her wings were fairly small. It was hard for Khalil to see how big they were since she had yet to unfold them from her body. Red crystals made spikes that lined her spine. Khalil heard her voice again. I heard that I am to be your child? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry if that was presumptuous of me. Presumptuous? It means to overstep my boundaries. Oh, I do not think our parents will be looking for us. They have abandoned us, haven't they? We don't know that for sure, but it is what we suspect. This will work then. I do not know much about this world, and you have already taught me 2 words. If you were to mistreat my siblings, I will personally make you pay. That is not something I would ever do. If I am to be your guardian, you cannot threaten me, though. That is the only threat I will make to you. My siblings are all that I have. No, you have us. That remains to be seen. You're feisty. Thank you. Khalil let out a laugh. Come on, let's get you a better pit. Tony stayed behind as the three of them went into their chamber. Khalil saw him staring into the pit where he had placed his egg. The lava was now indigo. It will be in its final stage soon. Cassandra showed her teeth in what appeared to be a grin. Guess what? What? She's the one that stole my name. Really? Yeah. He's been spending so much time crying about Barb, watching over that pit. It was hard for us not to feel for him. Oh, why are you crying? You weren't his mate. She was a friend, though. You must know what she did for you guys. I'm divided. We would have been born like me, so I doubt the dragon you slayed would have hated us on sight. True. Can I have the other slice, please? Khalil looked at the forgotten slice in his hand. Oh, yeah. He gave it to her. This time, she ate it nicely. Thank you. You're very welcome. Khalil looked at Eric's chosen pit. It had become green. Hey, don't tell him about her choosing Barb as her name. She wants to surprise him. You guys are awfully considerate. I'll let Eric know. Cassandra spotted the rainbow lava pits and gave a mini roar of excitement. She jumped into Khalil's and let out a purr. This feels amazing. Nice. I'm glad you like it. Unfortunately, that is my pit you're in. Huh. Interesting. I seem to be in it, though. Smartass. Another purr, and Cassandra closed her eyes.